Hi there, everybody, and welcome to day 6 of the 12 Tech Tips for Christmas for 2024 from Evolve EdTech. My name is Tristan. It is lovely to have you here for another amazing episode this season. In this episode, we're going to take you through and show you some tips and tricks that you may not be aware of when it comes to using Google Chrome. Chrome is a fantastic browser, and there's some wonderful little tips and tricks that you may not be aware of that could make your life so much easier. So, we're going to share a couple of really amazing tips and tricks with you today so that you can make the most of Google Chrome. So, let's head over to my browser window and I'm going to show you some of these amazing tips and tricks so that you can get started using this tool today. All right, so I'm over here on my Chrome browser and I have some websites open. And ironically, they are all related to Evolve EdTech just because it's easier for me to choose something that we know here at Evolve EdTech that we can use. So, the first tip that I'm going to show you is something that is pretty amazing. Did you know that in Google Chrome, you can actually create tab groups? So at the moment, I have 5 different tabs open in my browser that all relate to Evolve EdTech. Maybe I would like to try and keep them within a singular group because they're all related to the same particular topic. So what we can actually do is if I come up here to my active Evolve EdTech website tab here, I right click on my mouse and then you will see here that I have the option to add the tab to a group. Now, I already have an Evolve EdTech group in another browser that I'm using on my computer here. That's why you can see an Evolve EdTech group just here. But what we're going to do is we're going to click on New Group. Now, this is going to create a brand new group where we can place any of those active tabs or particular websites that we are regularly using in this particular group so that it's easy to access. So let's name this one, let's just call it example group. All right. Now, just be aware of the size of your group name because it will take up a little bit of real estate in your browser window. You can see here that we can also give it a color. So for my Evolve EdTech one, I've chosen a color that's closest to our branding, which is our blue. Maybe in this case, because it is Christmas, I might choose the green here. So what we can see now is this particular website here, the Evolve EdTech website, is part of this example group. And we can tell that because we have this green line around the tab that is part of that particular group. Now, I can hear you saying, okay, but how do I add other tabs to that group? Well, that is really easy as well. So I'm just going to head over here to the Tech Ready Teacher digital conference website. If you haven't registered for that, you can do that now. It is 100% free. Go and check it out, thetechreadyteacher.com. All I'm going to do to add this particular tab to my example group is again right click, head down here to add to tab group, and then just choose the group that I would like that particular website, that particular tab to be part of. So I'm going to choose my example group. And again, you can see the green line here has extended to show that that website is now part of that particular group. If I click back on the Evolve EdTech website tab, you will see that the Tech Ready Teacher now has a green line underneath it to indicate it is part of the example group. And we can just continue to do this for as many tabs as we would like, and we can create as many different groups as we would like. So in my particular case, I have an Evolve EdTech tab, which contains all of my different elements and websites and things that I use for Evolve EdTech. I have a school one, which includes my access to my school management system, Google Drive, any particular websites that I need to use on a regular basis. I might even have an email one if I have multiple email accounts. So tab groups are really useful when it comes to being able to sort these. Now you will see here that you can actually now click on that tab group and you can see that all of those particular tabs in that group have been collapsed down and we can't see those as active tabs. So the only one that I have active here is this one here. But when I click on example group again, you will see that all of those tabs that are part of that particular tab group have reappeared. How cool is that? So making sure that we are able to minimize and utilize that space in Chrome really effectively by using tab groups. So we're going to stick with tab groups just for a moment because Google recently released a fantastic update when it comes to tab groups. Now, tab groups previously didn't transfer across from computer to computer. So it meant that you had to create them again and again, which could be a little bit tedious and annoying. Chrome and Google, the wonderful people, have now made our lives a lot easier if you are using tab groups and you have a number of resources that you regularly access on different devices. So, for example, I might access some different websites here in my studio, and I might access something similar at school. So, it would be really nice if those tab groups could transfer over. And now they can. All we need to do is head up to our tab group. So in this case, it is example group. I'm just going to right click on this particular group and you will see just here, we now have the option to save the group. So I'm just going to toggle this on and you will now see that your group has been saved in your bookmarks bar. So I've got example group just here with a little light green background. So now if I go to another browser where I'm logged into this account, and this is my personal account this time, that particular tab group will be available and accessible for me to open and use. How amazing is that? Not only can we create tab groups where we can tab and group all of those websites that we regularly use together, but we can now utilize those tab groups on multiple devices that we are using. How cool is that? That is such a time saver for any single person out there, including us as educators. So, they are the first two tricks that I'm going to show you today. All right, another really handy trick that I think is really valuable to be aware of is muting tabs. Have you ever been in a staff room or a staff meeting and somebody has had their laptop open and they've got an email and there's been that big noise to indicate that they have a brand new email and you hear it, and of course everybody needs to look around and see who the noise came from? Well, you can now mute our tabs so that those noises don't happen. It's also really great if you're in class and your computer is attached to an MLD, a main learning display, or a projector, or some kind of device like that, so that your students aren't being interrupted by unnecessary noises. So to mute our tabs, all we do is head over to a tab, we right click, and then we just scroll down here and you will see that we have the option to mute the site. So you just click on this particular option and now that site will be muted. So you won't have any unnecessary noises coming from that particular website, which is really handy if you don't want, say, a video to start playing without your control or consent. Now you can make sure that you control that. Another really handy tip when it comes to our browser and our tabs is pinning tabs. So maybe there are some websites that you use regularly, okay, that you don't necessarily need to include in a tab group. So you might like to pin these to your Chrome browser so that you're able to access these. Now, these will most likely transfer across devices that you're logged into, but just be aware that sometimes, there's little gremlins in the world and that may not exactly happen. But you can pin them. I often pin particular websites that I use regularly for different purposes just to make them really quick and to make sure that I don't accidentally close them if it's something that I am using. So to pin a tab, all we literally do is come up, we right click on our tab again, and you will see here that we have the word pin. We click that, and now you will see that this particular website is sitting over here on the left-hand side, and it's a little bit smaller than previously. We've got the favicon there. So now this particular website is pinned. All right. I can't accidentally close it. I can't accidentally do something to it because I have pinned it. If you have a website that you no longer need pinned, Again, all you do is right click and then you unpin that site. So you will see that when we pin a site in Chrome, we don't have that option to close that particular window. All right, so it is there for us to use and access. So I could head over here and I could pin some more of these example pages, and they are just going to appear here on the left-hand side of my browser. How useful is that? So simple, but it means that you can access those regular websites that you are using so much quicker than you might have in the past. And there's no chance of you accidentally closing them because they are pinned. It is a very handy, useful tip that you might really like to go and investigate in your particular context. All right, let's head on to another quick tip when it comes to Chrome. Now, you might see up here in the right-hand corner of my browser that I've got all these little icons here. Okay, so I've got Bitmoji, I've got a color picker, Grammarly, Cami, I've got Annotate, and I've got a few others here. What are these? These are actually Chrome extensions. Chrome extensions are where different developers provide and create additional functions that can work within our Chrome browser. So this means that there's other things that we may like or we may have requested that we can now go and add to our Chrome browser so that we can use those particular features and functions when we're in a Chrome browser. So for example, one of my favorite Chrome extensions is the Annotate Chrome extension here, which allows me to be able to annotate basically anything on a screen in front of a class, whether it's a Google slide presentation or website, and I am able to annotate that using this particular extension. I'm able to save those annotations so that I can refer to them later, but I don't need any other software. I don't need any other accessories other than maybe a stylus and my Annotate account. So it is one of my favorite Chrome extensions. So how do you access Chrome extensions? Well, that is really easy. All you do is head over to Google, type in Chrome extensions, and it's going to send you to the Chrome Web Store. Now, you could have an absolute ball here trying to find amazing Chrome extensions that you can use in your classroom. But do be aware that some organizations do limit access to some Chrome extensions. I know my particular school organization does limit access to some of those, and it's generally an approved list that we will be able to use. So if an extension works at home, but not in your school, that will be why. So you can see here that they have an absolute truckload of different extensions that you can access. You can also click on the extensions button here. There are some different categories. So maybe if we go here to education, we'll find a whole suite of Chrome extensions related to education. So you might like to have a look at those. And then all you do when you're happy with whichever one of those particular extensions that you would like to select. So maybe let's choose this transcript one here. All we do is click on the blue Add to Chrome button here. All right, you can read about the particular extension. You can check the rating. All right, you can check all of the information to make sure that you have an informed decision beforehand, but you just click Add to Chrome just here. Now, if your Chrome extensions don't appear just here in this little bar, all right, all we do is click on this little puzzle piece looking image here called extensions. And this is where you will be able to find all of the extensions that you have added. All right, so you can see that I have a number here. And for some of them, I've actually pinned them. And that's why they are appearing just here, because they have been pinned. And they're obviously extensions that I believe I use quite regularly. Well, there we go. I've given you a couple of really good tips and tricks to really start to make the most out of Google Chrome. It is a fantastic browser, and it is a browser that I prefer to use myself in my classroom just because I am a Google person. I do love Google, so it makes much more sense for me. Well, that brings us to the end of day 6 of the 12 Tech Tips for Christmas for 2024. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we head off today, I do just want to remind you that if you haven't checked out the previous episodes, make sure you head over to the Evolve EdTech YouTube channel or our social media pages to check out those videos. We'd also love it if you head over to our YouTube channel, you subscribe to our channel, and you gave our videos a big thumbs up, because that is going to continue to motivate us to help you have fun with EdTech in the classroom. We've got another 6 wonderful EdTech tips, tricks, and tools to bring you as part of the 12 Tech Tips of Christmas for 2024. Anyway, that's it for today. We will catch you again tomorrow with day 7 of the 12 Tech Tips of Christmas for 2024. My name is Tristan. Until then, stay safe, everybody.